Well, I started off as a club promoter in the early 90s, late 80s, early 90s, and start throwing parties and DJs and throwing parties, randomly. And that's sort of the beginning of the electronic DJ scene started to happen. I kind of grew up on it and grew along with it.
Yeah, were you, before you were a club promoter for electronic music, was it a different, or was that the scene you were in before?
Yeah, well, I started off as a promoter and then I become a DJ because after you promote it for a while, I found the music is actually more interesting than the promoting. And I always in there for the music in the first place, even when I was promoting. So you make friends of the DJ and next thing you know is start buying records. Back then you had to buy records and you have to buy a magazine to read about different music coming out, and you have to really spend your time in a record store every week to see what comes out and listen to hundreds of records, and then you just buy them and figure out how to play them. That's kind of how I started, really.
I love it.
Yeah, it's like a classic story for a lot of the DJs, for the older DJs anyway. You fell in love with the music, you start buying records, and next thing you become a DJ.
Was it hard to get started? Like, scary?
No, it wasn't. It was a bit scary in the beginning, but I mean, I started the first 3 years playing just house party, playing for friends at home and having big party at home. And no, it wasn't that scary because it was a bit of a natural progression that I just go step by step into the whole music thing. And I have a lot of good DJ friends that are actually good DJs. And in the early stage, I watched a lot of them, and it's kind of, just have the natural progression. You want to get better at what you do, and eventually you practice, and you practice tens of thousands of hours on practicing.
Is there a point where you feel now it's just easy?
No, it's actually never. It is easier because technology have made things a lot easier. Like with the CDJ, and technology make things a little easier, but I still find that I'm constantly buying new interesting music. And some of those music are not necessarily the most easiest music to mix. Because some of them are just like different style. They're very, So, I mean, it's easy, but it's not easy. Does it make sense? It makes sense, right?
Yeah, absolutely. There's different challenges.
Yes.
Now.
Because got really interesting different sound. Like, okay, how do I make them gel together well,
Yeah.
So newer music is actually tougher because if you don't follow the formula, things actually gets a little bit tougher.
Yeah, versus how it used. That makes a lot of sense. What now you're playing still in Vancouver, still doing?
Yes, I'm still doing it.
Scene's still good. So do you
going good.
mentor anyone, in the same way, like when you were, do you have DJs coming in now that look to you for?
Well, there's always, I think that never changes. That will continue going, because younger, newer people get into the scene. They look at someone else like, oh, I like what they do. And then you kind of inspire them just like someone else inspired me. And I think that cycle will continue going. That's how most people get into the scene, is by seeing somebody go, oh, I like this guy. I like his music. I want to start, Suzamming what he's playing. I like to figure out, what's his tracks listing on Frisky Radio. Let's see if I can find those music. So I think that cycle will keep going.
Yeah, for sure. What's one of the hardest things that you've gone through as a DJ or in your music career?
I don't think there's that many hard spots because I always try to look at it going, okay, it is what it is. I have never really tried to become like the superstar DJ. My focus has always been just buying the best music, figured it out how to play them and play them well. And so it's not that tough. I think sometimes it gets tougher because when you get older, you actually become pickier, the taste of, because you heard so much music. So sometimes it's like there are less people out there that I like than it was 20 years ago.
Yeah, even though.
Does it make sense?
Yeah.
Yes.
There's more people.
No, I find new people that are amazing that I like. But you definitely, a lot of the time I go to a place, I'm like, okay, well, you know what? It's good for them. But not really for me, you know. So you're becoming, I don't want to sound like a music snob, but it does happen that after a while you're just becoming like, okay, I heard too much of everything. And you're not as open to, okay, you know, it's all good, it's all good. Sometimes you're a little bit more pickier. How about that's the word.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Where are you normally finding your music now? Do you just spend all day?
I get a lot of promo, but I'm a bit lazy on replying and checking them all out. I actually prefer buying music. You know, from time to time I get promo, unless I get a promo that I know no one will have and it's somebody did a cool remix and I will play it. But most of the time I actually prefer buying music, and I think everyone should do the same thing instead of just counting on a promo, sharing music with your friend. Buy it. If you're into music, buy it, because the guy that writes the track, if no one buys his music, doesn't matter how great the song is, he's not going to make a living doing it. Eventually, he'll just get a real job and forget about making music. So I think that needs to be, people need to buy music. I'm a fan of buying music. I've been doing it for a long time.
Yeah, love it. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Absolutely. What is one of your favorite sets you've done?
Oh, I don't have any favorite set, because every time I'm always trying to play new music. I mean, there are some sets that is more memorable because it's a big audience and the sound system was tuned up perfectly, or maybe I was on a tour with somebody that I really admired, and I get to share the stage with, you know, the guy that I look up to. So those days, those were great. But now every time I go and play, I still just look at it going, okay, next I have 3 hours to do this, and I need to plan it out right, and I'm going to create the best experience I can create at the moment. Because I found that that's still part of what I do. I hadn't changed a bit since day one.
Do you feel like the crowds now, is it different with, you know?
Yes, I mean, it's tough to compare things. You know, it is what it is, and we're only moving forward. But I found that the crowd is actually quite open, and they are more educated about music than they have ever been. And because there's so many DJs out there, they put so much music out online, there's so many live recording sets, and everything is out there. So it's actually made it easier for people to understand music. You know, the only difficult part is a lot of people are very good at promoting and marketing and branding and have the whole team behind them to doing that. Then kind of help them along the way, but they don't have necessarily the best substance.
Yeah.
You know, so that's the marketing side and the business side of the music and the DJ.
Yeah. Is that ever something you wanted to deal more with?
Yes or no. I'm at this point in my life, I just love what I do, and I'm very grateful and very happy that I still get to do the things that I want to do the way I want to do it. So I'm not planning to change that. And no, I'm just one of those old school DJ that been buying music for a long time and just keep playing.
I love it.
And I'm not stopping it. And people are still paying to come and see me. So I'm very lucky.
Do they ask when you're going to stop?
No, no one asks me, because they know I already passed that point.
Yeah.
Right? You know, when you're 40 years old, people are like, oh, how long are you going to DJ for? Well, that was a long time ago. And people stop asking after a while. They just realize that, okay, this is what he does. And he's probably just going to end up dying doing it, you know?
Behind the deck.
Yes.
Awesome. Where'd you go this year?
Oh, travel-wise, we've been to a few places. We went to Russia, went to Iceland, went to Helsinki, went to a whole bunch of different places.
Did you get
Berlin,
to go?
I was in Berlin a couple of days ago.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So you went from Iceland? Oh, no, you did.
No, that was a different
Awesome.
few months before that.
Are you getting to experience some of the music scenes there, or is it?
Not that much, because some of the places are quite small, so they don't have that much. But every places have DJs. Literally, everywhere you go, DJing is the norm now. You know.
Yeah. So
there's always stuff going on. Every places.
Yeah. Well, awesome. Is there anything else you want to share?
Well, I'm just excited to come and finally meet all my old friends from the Frisky people. These people are solid. They've been doing it for a long time. They wear the heart on the sleeves. There's nothing but love to everybody that work for Frisky. This
Love
is
right
from
back.
for real. This is for real from the bottom of my heart.
Let's love right back.
No, for real, for real. You guys are awesome. Keep pushing it.
Cheers. Thank you.
Thank you.